What's happening, my people? It's your boy Night God here. Look, if you haven't heard of Anchor by Spotify, let me give you the rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter where you are or what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you'll take that podcast and distribute it to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, with a single click. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to start your podcasting adventure today. In February of 2021, the son of a doctor stationed at McMurdo Station blows the whistle on what his father experienced while working there back in the 1990s. He was stationed there almost 11 months, and his claims as to what he found out during that time are absolutely mind-blowing. The Reddit user making these amazing claims referred to himself as Son of Antonon and said that he had to use aliases because at the time, his father was the only doctor stationed there, so they'd be able to track him down if he didn't. To validate his story, he even went on to post some of the credentials his father received after working there for the 11 months. Items such as the copy of the Antarctic Treaty, along with this plaque displaying the patches he wore during his time at McMurdo. I even did a little digging myself and looked up the operation that the patches said he was on, Operation Deep Freeze. And yes, it is a valid operation carried out in Antarctica. It even dates back to before Admiral Richard Byrd's Operation High Jump. And given the continuing and constant U.S. presence in Antarctica, they've just called every operation to resupply there Operation Deep Freeze, and still do to this day. I realize at the end of the day, this doesn't absolutely back the story, but hopefully it gives you a little evidence to maybe say it could be true. So back in the 90s, while working for the Navy as a doctor, his father was stationed at McMurdo Station in Antarctica for 11 months. He was virtually the only doctor there at the time. And as you can see, the station wasn't really that small. There was a lot of people there, and they had been there, some of them, for over 10 years. Being that his father was the only doctor at the station, he was required to accompany research groups and military personnel on their missions. And believe it or not, there are actually a lot more casualties in Antarctica than one might think. Given the desolate, icy terrain and the harsh weather conditions, people lose their lives all the time, both soldiers and researchers. This is mostly due to hypothermia, and that's what the doctor was always told to put as their cause of death. Shortly after his father began going on these expeditions, he soon realized that the location of the expedition, whether researchers or military personnel, was always located just south of McMurdo Station. And it's located where you see this second dot. So as the doctor continued on more expeditions, like clockwork, they would take a 5-mile detour around this particular area. This, of course, piqued his curiosity, and he began to wonder what exactly was there and why they avoided it with so much caution. He had to find answers, but being the fact that he was the new guy, he knew he had to tread lightly, because asking too many questions could end up getting him court-martialed. So he quickly befriended one of the researchers, a veteran who had been there for 10 plus years. And it wasn't until about a month later, after befriending this gentleman, he gained the courage to ask him what exactly went on there. What were they avoiding? But as soon as he asked his colleague the question, he turned pale white and told him to shut up and quit asking questions, then stormed off. And later that night, while in his room, of course he hears a knock at the door. It's his CO requiring his presence at his office. This guy was known to be a hard ass, and he was the CO of the entire station. He basically told his father what a piece of crap he was and to quit asking questions, or he'd get sent back to the States. Alright, my people, I hate to do it to y'all, but I gotta end it there for now. Don't worry, I promise the next video is going to finish the story. Whether true or not, it's like nothing I've ever heard. And it's just a good story in lieu of Halloween. If you can't tell by the photo behind me, you probably have an idea of what's to come. Alright, just a small hint. His dad may or may not have found out that these were the result of core samples taken by researchers of a prehistoric species. A species allegedly photographed in this picture. And I may even be talking to a follower that is going to be stationed at McMurdo Station here very soon. And he told me some pretty intriguing things. So make sure you stay tuned, keep watching your boy, Stay in the love, stay in the light. I am out.